We are kicking off today with the latest shocking development regarding RTruth, who WWE recently allowed to leave the company, which is sure to frustrate fans. The WWE Universe was furious about RTruth not being re-signed, but after what happened on Raw this week, they're likely to be reaching a boiling point. It's common for WWE superstars to give subtle nods to wrestlers who have been let go on television, with Dominic Mysterio rocking a Carlito shirt this week as an example. However, fans might have noticed that despite his popularity, there was nothing for RTruth. However, that wasn't to do with the locker room not liking him, as WrestleVotes revealed that nobody was allowed to wear any RTruth merchandise, despite his Ron Cena shirt being one of WWE's best-selling items before he was released. WWE has quietly removed that t-shirt from the shop without explanation, sparking even more outrage from the WWE Universe, who wanted one final opportunity to support the multi-time 24/7 champion. There's no official reason why WWE's superstars aren't being allowed to pay respect to RTruth, but the silent approach is only making the company appear even more tone-deaf, which will lead to fans going against the decision even harder. They've already been ambushing shows with the "We Want Truth" chants, which have been echoed on social media. Therefore, WWE needs to be careful with its decision-making surrounding him. WWE superstars may be unable to showcase their support for RTruth on WWE programming, but that didn't stop Sheamus from discussing his fellow wrestling veteran during an appearance on the Pat McAfee show. The Celtic Warrior has seen countless people come and go during his time in WWE, and given the nature of the business, he doesn't believe this will be the end of RTruth in WWE. Instead, he appeared very confident that Truth will not only be back, but he'll receive a major accolade upon his return. And that's not the end, it's not the end. So many people, so many guys and girls have left and come back, it's not the end. Sometimes it's a bit of a break. There's no way Truth's not going to come back at some stage. I'm sure you'll see him again, like a Hall of Famer. He's definitely a pillar, yeah. WWE has recently opted not to renew several deals, leading to wrestlers being let go, and now there are fears that Karrion Kross could be the next man on the chopping block. There have been whispers that WWE plans to make more releases, and the former NXT champion is nearing the end of his contract, and WWE is yet to make any move to extend it. According to Fightful Select, the Harbinger of Doom is in the final few months of his current deal, and WWE hasn't even opened up talks over a renewal, which is a worrying situation for him. The radio silence will no doubt send alarm bells ringing, especially after Kross has already made waves by venting about his contract situation leaking online, with Kross admitting to Ariel Helwani that the issue still gets under his skin. Typically, WWE looks to inform talent about expiring deals a month or two before they officially run out to kickstart negotiations, or to simply tell them there won't be a new offer, as was the case with Valhalla and Carlito. However, with Kross's deal being up in the summer, WWE is giving itself a very small window of opportunity to strike a deal with one of the most popular men in the company right now. WWE is cutting it fine with its timing if they do want to reach an agreement with Kross, as his deal is expiring with no clear direction in sight. The company risks losing someone who already seems fed up with backstage drama and his lack of opportunities. But no matter what happens, Kross isn't the type of person to stay silent, as he's always incredibly open with his fan base. A disturbing real-life incident unfolded just outside the WWE Performance Center during the live broadcast of NXT on June 3rd. According to an eyewitness on the scene, a man allegedly stalking Liv Morgan was arrested outside the building while the show was still on the air. Police were visibly present, collecting evidence, and the witness confirmed that the situation was real, not just a rumor. Initial reports identified the arrest as involving a Liv Morgan stalker, but official information from Orange County later painted a different picture. A newly released statement from the Orange County Sheriff's Office clarified that the man arrested was 41-year-old Sean Chan, and his detainment had nothing to do with Liv Morgan or WWE directly. The statement read, "On June 3rd, 2025, at approximately 11:30 p.m., deputies made contact with Sean Chan outside of the WWE Performance Center, located at 5055 Forsyth Commerce Road. Chan had an outstanding warrant for burglary from the Pasco County Sheriff's Office." It further emphasized, "Chan was placed under arrest and booked into the Orange County Jail. We have no details whatsoever about the Pasco County case, so you'll need to reach out to that agency for more information." The arrest report logs Chan's time of apprehension as 10:49 p.m. Eastern and confirms that the officer's body-worn camera was active during the encounter. While this clarified one part of the night's events, more details later emerged that changed the narrative entirely. Earlier in the day, multiple outlets had reported additional arrests for trespassing outside the NXT tapings, some even mentioning a physical altercation. Those reports gained weight when PW Insider confirmed through WWE sources that a second, separate arrest did occur during the same night, and this one was far more serious. Speaking anonymously, WWE insiders confirmed that the rumors about a stalker targeting Liv Morgan were true. The individual involved was indeed apprehended, confirming additional speculation that had been questioned after Orange County authorities stated there were no stalking charges on record. What makes this more concerning is who handled the second arrest. WWE sources indicated it was not carried out by Orange County deputies, suggesting that federal or higher level law enforcement may have been involved. As of now, the second individual remains in custody, but no official details have been released to the public. To clarify, 2 arrests took place near the WWE Performance Center on the night of June 3rd. The first involved Sean Chan, who was booked on an outstanding burglary warrant unrelated to WWE. The second arrest, however, directly relates to the NXT tapings and reportedly involves a suspected stalker targeting Liv Morgan. While no injuries were reported, the incident is a sobering reminder of the dangers wrestlers can face from obsessed fans. This isn't the first case either. Just last year, a stalker was caught attempting to photograph female NXT stars' feet at a hotel, highlighting a troubling pattern of behavior. Should WWE increase its security protocols to better protect its talent? And how should the company handle repeat stalker incidents moving forward? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Now, prior to WrestleMania 41, fans learned the devastating news that Kevin Owens would be sidelined for the foreseeable future due to a serious neck injury that requires surgery. This forced him to pull out of his highly anticipated match against Randy Orton, which opened the door for Joe Hendry's surprise appearance. Last month, the former Universal Champion revealed he hadn't undergone surgery yet, as his family and medical team were evaluating the best options. Now, in a new interview with French outlet Les 10 Sport, Owens has revealed the latest developments, but it's not good news for WWE fans. It's a very slow process. I still haven't had the surgery. There's a lot of things to consider before the surgery. We're kind of waiting to see how things progress naturally. There's no doubt I need surgery, but before we do the surgery, we just have to see how much it can not recover, because it won't recover, but slightly improve without surgery. Afterward, we can make a plan and decide what's the best thing to do for surgery, but it's a very slow process. You just have to have patience. I don't usually have a lot of patience, but this time I have no choice. Owens' injury didn't come out of nowhere in one crazy moment, as he revealed that he had known for months he was dealing with strange symptoms. Unfortunately, nobody could get to the root of the issue, including WWE's own medical team. To make matters worse, he was locked in a bitter feud against Cody Rhodes that involved some very physical encounters, unknowingly putting his life on the line with each bump he took. I had doubts for several months that there was something really abnormal. On the other hand, it took several months before diagnosing the injury as such. But we knew 2 days before I made the announcement on SmackDown that I would not be able to be at WrestleMania and that I had to stop wrestling immediately. In fact, I was extremely lucky not to be injured more seriously in the matches that I had at the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, because my neck was already in very bad shape, but we didn't know, because the symptoms that I had were not compatible with a neck injury. So we were looking for why I had these symptoms, but we weren't looking in the right place because it didn't make sense. No one would have known that it was my neck that was affected because of those symptoms. Later, I was the one who suggested that I have my neck checked to see if there was anything, and that's when it was found. The time frame for Owens' return to the ring is currently unclear, with some speculating that it could be more than a year. However, Owens has now delivered a massive blow to fans by revealing that a return might never take place, highlighting just how severe the problem is. It would be not arrogant, but false to be able to tell you right now that I will absolutely return to the ring, that I'll have other fights. I don't know if that's true. Of course, the health and safety of every wrestler is paramount, and it's understandable why he may never wrestle again, given the severity of his injury. But we hope he's simply being overly cautious due to how entertaining he is as a talent. Either way, fans will be thankful for the latest updates, and will be pleased that he can simply enjoy life outside the ring as best he can, after avoiding the situation from worsening, as a neck injury brings the threat of paralysis. The wrestling world was left stunned this week when Mariah made her WWE debut on the June 3rd episode of NXT, officially bringing an end to the AEW chapter of her career, and the internal reaction at her former employer has been revealed. Sean Ross Sapp revealed that someone within AEW contacted him to claim that May's debut was a compliment, pointing out that WWE has introduced 2 former AEW stars on television without even dropping their names. The fact that they were instantly recognized and created a buzz is something that's being seen as a positive for AEW's programming, as it proves that they're making stars who are known across the entire industry. I can tell you that at least one person in AEW hit me up and said, well, it's a pretty nice compliment to us that they have debuted 2 people that were made on AEW TV without naming them whatsoever, and everybody knew who they were and reacted to them, so that's at least a positive for them. Ricky Saints was the previous AEW star to debut in NXT without his name being mentioned. He simply turned up unannounced and without any teases, much like May did, and it's clear that WWE now values several members of the AEW roster as talent worth pursuing. When it comes to May, she's signed a multi-year deal with WWE and is expected to leave her AEW identity behind with a planned name change, just like Saints dealt with. It remains to be seen how she'll fare in her new environment, but given her natural talent, there's no doubt she could thrive. In AEW news, Thekla made her official in-ring debut this week during the Collision episode, which was also part of Fyter Fest, and she wasted no time making her mark for the company. There was no shortage of hype surrounding the former Stardom performer, and the Toxic Spider wasted little time dispatching Lady Frost despite her attempts to put up a fight and create an upset result. Thekla gave fans a taste of what she's capable of before delivering a spear and the Death Trap submission to start her AEW run in undefeated fashion. Thekla wasn't the only woman making her mark during Collision, as Melo made her long-awaited comeback after being out of action since January 11th, 2023. Melo started her own family during her time away, having her first child with Sammy Guevara, but she made her emphatic return by saving Anna Jay from a beatdown at the hands of Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. We are still waiting on the final poll results regarding a Fyter Fest review, so if the response picks up, the full review will likely be in tomorrow's update. Stay tuned, there's a good chance it's coming your way soon. Back to WWE, and Vince McMahon has sold another chunk of his TKO stock, with the buyer being none other than Endeavor Group Holdings itself, the majority owner of WWE and UFC's parent company. Variety broke the news, revealing that the former WWE chairman sold 1.579 million shares of his TKO Class A common stock in a private deal on June 3rd. This deal saw him earn a whopping $250 million in total, with each share being worth $158.32. The deal closed on June 4th per an SEC filing, with McMahon now having made over $2 billion from selling TKO stock. This is an impressive sum of money, including the $311.2 million he cashed out in April 2024. In April of this year, he still had around 8 million TKO shares, which gave him a 4.1% voting power in the company and a 9.8% economic interest, despite most fans believing he was completely out of the business. Endeavor buying his stocks means they now own 61.7% of TKO stock, strengthening their overall grip on the McMahon family business, which merged with UFC in 2023 to create TKO. McMahon isn't slowing down and looking to relax despite selling more stocks, as he recently launched his own private investment firm, 14th and I, based in Stamford, Connecticut. This will be focused on sports, media, and entertainment ventures, and they'll be targeting everything from buyouts to minority deals, according to the firm's president and former WWE executive, Brad Bloom. However, it remains to be seen whether McMahon will use this to pursue a return to the world of professional wrestling, which he knows so well. Do you think Vince McMahon is preparing to launch a new empire, or is this just the final act of a billionaire walking away? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. Something that McMahon would never have done would have been to partner with TNA, and when that deal was first announced under Triple H's leadership, it raised some eyebrows as fans questioned whether it would benefit either company, but Bully Ray has praised WWE for adding real value to its partner, which he believes AEW never did during their previous partnership. On the June 3rd episode of Bustin' Open After Dark, Bully spoke about the NXT main event this week, which saw Trick Williams defending his TNA World title against TNA's own Mike Santana. It's something that never would have happened in the past, and it's a situation that AEW never provided either. However, it was more than just a match, as there was serious crowd investment, multiple wrestlers from TNA being involved, and storylines being blurred, and Bully believes that's why WWE's deal has already beaten what AEW did with TNA. The WWE and TNA legend believes that AEW's partnership only benefited them, with Kenny Omega appearing on Impact Wrestling and winning their top prize while doing next to nothing for the brand. TNA stars were rarely featured on AEW, not to mention the strange Tony Khan commercials that would happen on TNA, and that's where things fizzled out. On the other hand, WWE has already showcased Jordynne Grace in multiple high-profile segments before she joined the company, with Joe Hendry having just worked at WrestleMania and a TNA World title match headlined a show. Do you agree with Bully Ray? Is WWE helping TNA thrive while AEW missed the mark? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. Trick Williams has played a significant role in WWE's partnership with TNA, but he isn't content with just representing TNA as their world champion. He wants to make a statement. Williams appeared on Busted Open Radio and told Tommy Dreamer that he wants to change the title's design, suggesting he puts Trick onto it, as the company will be known as Trick-N-A until someone takes it from him. The Trick-N-A nickname is something that the NXT star appears to be rolling with moving forward, and Dreamer believes it's an excellent idea. However, the ECW legend didn't look for any credit, as he claimed that Trick was behind that, showcasing that the young wrestler already has an excellent understanding of the business. Do you want to see Trick Williams alter the TNA World Championship? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. The first ever Evolve champion was crowned this week by WWE after a fatal 4-way elimination match between Idris Enofe, Sean Legacy, Keanu Carver, and Jackson Drake, with Drake being the man to walk away with the pin. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins stepped away from the ring this week to try their hand at a different job, weather reporting. The popular couple appeared on KTLA, where they provided the weather forecast for Los Angeles, bringing their usual flair and charisma to proceedings. The wrestling world has plenty of heated battles inside the ring, but away from it, the ongoing legal case between Vince McMahon and Janel Grant is only just heating up. In a major update, John Laurinaitis is now officially off the hook in terms of being named as a defendant in the sex trafficking lawsuit against McMahon and WWE, with a federal judge now having cleared him from the case, as he's been locked in as a cooperating witness. Despite his years working alongside Vince, he'll now assist Grant against him and WWE in a move that could ramp up the pressure on the remaining defendants. Grant has accused McMahon of using promises of career growth in a bid to pull her in, which led to the former WWE chairman exploiting and trafficking her to other males. A non-disclosure deal had been agreed between them in 2022 for a $3 million payout, yet Grant claims she only received $1 million before she stopped receiving any money. McMahon and WWE are currently trying to get the case moved out of a public court due to the NDA, but it remains to be seen whether that'll happen. The defendants have until June 13th to respond. Comedy in wrestling can be divisive, with some people hating it and others finding it a refreshing addition to the show. Regardless of whether you love it or hate it, there's no denying that Santino Marella is one of the best at it, which is why so many people believe he's a future WWE Hall of Famer, and that's something he reflected on when talking to Chris Van Vliet. Well, it depends what you go to wrestling for. If you want macho tough guys, and some people just don't like comedy, they want to see slobber knockers each and every match, it's pretty polarized. I think the vast majority of people appreciate the comedy, but there are people that they have no place for comedy. Would you like to see Santino go into WWE's Hall of Fame? And who should induct him if he does? Sound off in the comments.